Goalkeepers spend years building a career, but one moment is enough to define them for better or worse. Acquiring the most important position on the field is enough pressure already, and on top of that, their millisecond reaction speeds are the moment that can make the difference between losing and winning a World Cup. From Buffon's World Cup save to Banks' impossible claw that denied Pele, here are the top 10 best goalkeeper saves of all time. But before we get into that, don't forget to like and subscribe. Number 10. Buffon 2006 World Cup Final. Italy's journey to the 2006 World Cup was just remarkable, owing greatly to Buffon's heroic form. The goalkeeper, who was only 28 years old at the time, had allowed only 2 goals through for the entire competition, one of which was an own goal. Makes you think about the unbreakable Azzurri backline. However, it was during extra time of the World Cup final when Buffon performed at his finest. Perhaps the most significant save of Buffon's illustrious career, this heroic effort ultimately gave Italy the victory, and after the final whistle the score remained tied at 1-1 between Italy and France, forcing extra time. Zinedine Zidane forcefully headed a cross from the right wing towards the goal in the 13th minute of extra time. The Frenchmen were in complete shock when Buffon leapt into the air and flicked the ball over the crossbar. Italy eventually defeated France 5-3 on penalties to win the World Cup. It still stands as Buffon's most significant career save. Number 9. Iker Casillas vs Diego Perotti. When you ask a Real Madrid fan about their favorite save, they will always mention that save by Iker Casillas on October 4, 2009 against Sevilla. Iker accomplished something that will be remembered for years to come, despite the fact that Los Blancos lost the game 2-1. A low cross from Alvaro Negredo from the right side of the pitch, the Argentine player Diego Perotti was in a prime scoring position at the far post when he received the ball. To his surprise, the Spanish captain, who was defending a Ricardo Zamora trophy for the best goalkeeper in the league, made an impossible amount of positional shift right on the line, ridiculously fast to deny Perotti's shot. When you think about it, there are very few goalkeepers in the history of the game who could have pulled off what Iker did here. After the magnificent save, Perotti just stood there, scratching his head, thinking how he missed such an obvious scoring opportunity. The save was just another reminder of who the best goalkeeper on the planet was at the time. Number 8. Bruce Grobbelaar vs Graham Sharp. FA Cup finals are usually defined by the players who step and do the business up front. The 1953 Matthews Final, the 1966 Treblecock Turn, and the 2006 Gerrard game are the prime examples. However, saves are never hailed as much. This is another reason why Bruce Grobbelaar's crazy save is so crucial. Early during the second half of the 1986 final, Everton had a 1-0 advantage and Liverpool's heads had been turned. Soon after, Alan Howson skewed a poor clearing straight over the face of his own box while under pressure from Gary Lineker. Graham Sharp sent a header towards the goal from the edge of the box. Grobbelaar dashed back from the border to tip the ball back over the bar. The incident inspired Liverpool because they realized if their quarreling goalkeeper could put on his game face and make a spectacular save to keep his team tied, the rest of them could step up their efforts as well. Everton was severely damaged by the save. They never again posed a threat as Molby and Ronnie Whelan assumed control of the contest. Grobbelaar had given his team the third double of the 20th century. Number 7. David Seaman vs Paul Pesci-Solido. Even though David Seaman's name always makes people chuckle, it doesn't change the reality that he was a fantastic goalkeeper on the field. While he made several noteworthy saves throughout his prime, none are more renowned than the one he made against Paul Pesci-Solido in the 2003 FA Cup quarter-final between Sheffield United and Arsenal. The save came to be known as the Claw, a one-handed strike following a close-range headbutt. If you ask me, that is an amazing demonstration of athleticism and hand-eye coordination. Number 6. Jim Montgomery vs Trevor Cherry and Peter Lormeer. Jim Montgomery's double save from Leeds United's Trevor Cherry and Peter Lormeer in the FA Cup 1973 final is one of the most outstanding and memorable saves in football history. After the keeper had somehow stopped Cherry's diving header, a goal seemed so certain that Coleman screamed, "And Lormeer makes it 1 each!" However, Jim Montgomery somehow deflected the close-range thunderbolt up onto the bar, and just like that, one of the greatest teams in the nation's history was denied a victory. This game will forever be remembered because of the heroics of the goalkeeper, which is quite rare in football. Number 5. Peter Schmeichel vs Rapid Vienna. Peter Schmeichel contributed just as much as Eric Cantona to Manchester United's absurdly high number of vital 1-0 victories in the 1995-96 season. Cantona continued to score goals, but Schmeichel kept making saves, and he had the best performance of the season during the first half of the game between Manchester United and Newcastle at St. James Park, which effectively decided the season's title. This save is often considered the pinnacle of Schmeichel's career. He repelled what seemed like a never-ending barrage of Newcastle attacks. Even though it was only a small number of excellent chances, it is still talked about to this day. Schmeichel and Cantona both performed extraordinarily well, and a few short months later, United won the title. The Great Dane kept out what felt like wave after wave of Newcastle attacks. In reality, it was a handful of very good chances, but it is remembered in folklore to this day. Schmeichel was brilliant, Cantona was brilliant, and a couple of short months later, United were champions. Number 4. Gregory Coupé vs Rivaldo. Lyon was paired up against Barcelona in the Champions League group stage during the 2001-2002 season, which marked the beginning of Gregory Coupé's reign of domestic supremacy. At 0-0, teammate Claudio Cacapa attempted a poor lofted back pass that went over the goalkeeper's head. Given that Coupé was unable to stop the ball from crossing the line with his hands, it appeared as though an amusing own goal would result. However, the Frenchman had a sneaky move up his sleeve, the diving header. Coupé leapt into the air like a salmon and sent the ball crashing against the crossbar. In milliseconds, he got up and made another unbelievable point-blank save to stop Rivaldo from scoring with a headed effort. That is a display of goalkeeping genius that we will probably never see again at the very highest level of the professional game. Number 3. Iker Casillas vs Arjen Robben. Many recall it as the turning point in the South Africa 2010 World Cup final between Spain and the Netherlands. In a tight and highly contested game in Johannesburg, Arjen Robben found himself with an open run at the goal and just Iker Casillas to beat as time wound down to the 62nd minute. Robben and Casillas were familiar with one another because they were colleagues at Real Madrid for 2 seasons. The quick winger had the most clear-cut chance to score that night out of everyone on the field. It appeared to be a certain goal for those who were observing. Robben either delayed too long or not long enough to approach Casillas. He eventually settled for what appeared to be a chip, but he was unable to put the ball in the net. With the toe of his right foot, the Spanish goalkeeper was able to tip the ball wide. Despite the fact that it may not be as visually pleasing as other saves on our list, it is unquestionably one of the most significant ones in history. Neville Southall is the only goalkeeper to have ever received the Footballer of the Year award, surpassing Bert Trautmann, Gordon Banks, and Pat Jennings. According to the renowned Guardian writer David Lacey, his save to stop Mark Falco of Spurs from scoring from close range is a save to rank with Gordon Banks' iconic moment in the 1970 World Cup. It was undoubtedly significant because it prevented Everton's primary championship challengers from scoring a late equalizer, and the club effectively sealed the league title at the start of April. Number 1. Gordon Banks vs Pele. On June 7, 1970, Brazil were up against England in the group stage of the World Cup. Brazil started an attack with Jairzinho, who easily outran his defender Terry Cooper, and lifted in a cross from right for Pele. The only thing more beautiful than that cross was Pele's sprint and jump as he soared above the defense line to head the ball. The English goalie, Gordon Banks, was readjusting from the near post. He made the decision to dive to his right rather than in the direction the ball would bounce. Banks handled the ball with his fingertip and hoisted it above the crossbar to safety after deciding not to block it out for fear of Pele and Rivellino being in the box. Pele, who was certain he had scored, is reported to have screamed "goal" and had his hands in the air. Pele was extremely shocked by what had happened. While England lost, this save is still considered the greatest in history. Which of these was your favorite? Is there any other save that should feature in the video? Let us know in the comments, and if you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel. Thanks for watching, see you in the next one.